Good evening from Champery, Switzerland. We're here at the Palladium in Champery, the ice skating rink, and we're here covering this year's Champery Masters. We're in the 7th draw, and tonight's feature game is Team Retornaz against Team Edin. Team Retornaz, Italy, Daniela Ferrazza at lead, Andrea Pilsner at second, Joel Retornaz playing third rocks and skipping, Amos Morshaner playing fourth rocks. In Team Edin, Christopher Sundgren, Rasmus Rano, Oscar Eriksson, and skip Nicholas Edin. Both these teams in their group play. As we see the ice conditions here, temperature stable all day at just over 5 degrees minus. Both these teams in Group A at 2-1 record. So both these teams fighting for a quarterfinal spot. My name is Armin Harder, and tonight with me, pleasure to welcome Joe Velchley.
Good evening, everybody, and buonasera amici di curling dall'Italia.
Very good. Well, you've just inherited the Italian part of the commentary. We welcome everybody else from around the world to follow this game, and hopefully it'll be a good one. Both these teams tied for second in their group. Edin lost the first game to Brewster 3-5, or 3-5, and then defeated Schwaller and Hess. And Mosaner, Retornaz, who's skipping, playing third rocks. As we see, the game is already underway.
Yeah, the Italians here with a very young team. The number 3, 2, and number 4, very young guys, and with the senior in the team, Joel Retornaz, already 8 European champions played, so he is the guy who brings some security into the game.
Yeah, even though this team is fairly young, I think they've played at least three European championships themselves and done quite well at European competition. Just a quick look at their record, and then we'll introduce Joe Velchley here. Mosaner, Team Retornaz defeated Schwaller and Mancini, and then lost to Brewster. So Brewster's first in this group. 24 teams, 4 groups of 6, 8 qualifiers to go on to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. We'll be here all weekend to cover the games. And a real pleasure to have Joe Velchley with me tonight. Just for those of you who don't know Joe, which is hard to believe, Joe has been in the curling scene for 1 or 2 years. One of the first ones to bring curling into Russia. Also, Joe, honorary president of the curling club Baden Regio, which was built under his leadership 15 years ago and is home to the 2015 World Ladies Champions Baden Regio Team Elena Pats. And also Joe is the co-founder of the Curling Champions Tour about 15 years ago, and now with the amalgamation of Champions Tour and World Curling Tour, we can talk a little bit about that. So Joe, very big career in building curling, and very important part of the curling scene, certainly here in Europe. So a real pleasure to have you with me tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to me to be here again, and yeah, we go already a long way, Armin, together, and yes, it's always a pleasure to see curling and to do something for curling.
I believe this is my first experience going to be commentating with you in English. We usually do. We've done this often in German, but Swiss German. But
yeah, I already have to apologize if somebody has problem with my English. So yes, usually we do this in Swiss German for the Swiss TVs.
I already have a problem with your English. That's good. So we've got a pretty open end going here, and we can keep talking. There's not a lot going on right now. Give me your predictions, Joe, for this game.
Yeah, I mean, there is a favorite, it's Edin, and but we will see Edin is number 2 on the world list, and I think something over 100 is Retornaz, so the favorite is clear, but it's probably a very close game on the end. So at least we hope that.
Edin here, the defending title champion. He won this last year, and he'd also like to get back his first place ranking on the World Tour. Take it back from Brad Gushu, who just last week reacquired that #1 spot on the world ranking. So pretty important for Edin this weekend to try and move back up again. 45,000 Swiss francs. That's about 58,000 Canadian total prize money. It's certainly one of the higher prize monies in Europe. On the men list.
Yes, and a very nice tournament here in Champery. Anyway, a very nice town, Champery. 1,000 meter over sea level, and one of the first touristic spots in Switzerland. I think around 1860 already they built the first hotel here, and it's one of the really old touristic spots in Switzerland. Always good to be back here.
No snow yet though, so we're focusing on curling. It's a good time of year to have curling up here, and I believe that's one of the reasons they have curling this time of year. It's sort of in between seasons, Joe?
Yeah, it's really in between season. I think after this weekend they will close a lot of hotels and all the shops, and then they will start again at the 15th of December when the winter season really starts. They told me today that it always belongs what time the snow will fall. So if they have no snow here in the Swiss Alps before December, it's getting a tough season for a lot of Swiss touristic destinations.
And as we see Amos Morshoner delivering his rock here, the last rock, no, his first rock in this end, trying to go around that guard. Edin Morshoner playing yellow rocks, or Retornaz having yellow rocks. And Edin playing the red rocks. Edin has the hammer, so the names on the back of the board aren't correct. Edin has the hammer. Oscar Eriksson holding the broom for Nicholas Edin. As Joe said, #2 ranked in the world, and certainly the #1 seed team in this competition.
They're struggling in the first game a little bit, but now they're on the path to.
Which isn't unusual for Edin. He's not known as a quick starter, but he's certainly known as a strong finisher in any tournament. Didn't get the roll he was looking for, left it open. Opportunity for Morshoner maybe to roll behind the guard himself.
Difficile da roncare, questo già qua. Sette. Oh.
Kind of get an impression of how far down the sheet he is. 45 meters down at the other end. Taking a 19-kilo rock, sliding it down the entire length and trying to put it into the perfect position. Piece of cake, right, Joe?
Oh, it's so easy, yes, to do that. We know this already, Armin.
We do.
How easy this is.
We were so good at it that we ended up quitting. And he rubs the guard, unfortunately. And that means he doesn't remove that red one for play. And Edin has an open hit for 2. Bit of a unfortunate error there. I think it would have been better to make sure that you got that rock instead of going for the roll, at least primarily.
Yeah, but it was a split in front to go also for Edin for 2.
Well, if he rolls out, then it could have been for 3, actually. He's fortunate that he managed to pick up the back rock.
So we will see if Niklas can do now. Go in front with 2.
Well, he's going to draw. All he needs is full 8 foot. Piece of the white. Scores 2. Last rock here in the first end.
80. Känns bra. Kändes helt okej, men.
Yeah, looks good. So 2 for Team Edin in this first end. Not the start that the Italian team wants.
Well, just if he had to remove that cleanly and stuck around, it would have been probably a blank. So a little bit of an error cost him the 2. And after the first end, as we can see here, 2-0 for Edin with an early lead after one end of play here at the Champery Masters. Christopher Sundgren starting the second end. Team Retornaz now in control of the hammer. These teams have faced each other since, or at least Retornaz has faced Edin 8 times since 2011. Edin certainly 7 wins and 1 loss over over that period. And the last time these 2 teams faced each other was in Swiss Cup Basel just 2 or 3 weeks ago. Edin winning that 6-2. So again, Daniel Ferrazza.
Yeah, they changed the team a little bit. Ferrazza now number 1 in the lead. Usually is number 2.
Looking for that magic combination. Soren Gran taking over this team this year. Swedish coach who's got experience coaching Great Britain and Scotland, and also coaching in Russia. Now coaching this Italian men's team.
Bilden är bra. Samma. Tror den är bra. Känns bra tycker jag. Samma linje också.
Yes, very experienced coach all over the world, can for sure give some inputs to this team.
Rasmus är med. Ja. Ja, dra nu. Kom igen. Kom igen. Snyggt. Bra liv på båda dem.
In typical Sundgren fashion, top 4 foot, perfect guard. And this is one of the things this team does so strong, that they're strength at every position. And that's where most of the teams come up against trouble against these, because it's just the consistency from the front end to the back end is not. Most teams don't have that like this team does. So Joe, this tournament has been around for
I think 8 years.
8 years now.
Yeah.
Great relationship here with Champery, built up over that time.
Very nice, yes. And also very important sponsor is always Port du Soleil, the ski resort here around. 2 nations, Switzerland and France. You go over the border to enjoy these 600 kilometers of ski slopes. So always important to have a sponsor like that in on curling.
And we saw Rasmus Frono taking out that corner guard. And just last week, Champery hosted, and as we see a replay here of that clearing, Champery hosted the World Mixed Championships on this ice. And we saw in the last game with Team Mowat, the winning skip of that World Championship team. Grant Hardy was playing third for him, so he's been here for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, looks like he knows this town done very well.
He knows this town very well. Lots of trying to remove that red center guard. Now has replaced it with his own.
Interesting start for an end.
So again, Verano being asked to remove that Italian guard up front. We might see Retornaz replacing that guard. Could play a run on this. And put up a corner guard, trying to score his 2. Might be a little early to play a hit on that yellow one. It's sitting there so nicely.
Yes, Andrea Pilser. Also very young player, but already in this team with Moshaner. I think they played together the Junior Worlds. Nicely played corner guard. Will be removed from Team Edin.
Well, Edin not showing this team a lot of respect, not taking any chances, not playing very aggressive, just keeping it clean, keeping it simple. Sure, once he gets the hammer back again, he'll go on the offense again.
Now Joel on with number 3. Joel's 34 years of age. He is born actually in Switzerland.
I did not know that.
Now he's living in Lugano in the beautiful Tessin. After some years in Italy.
Isn't that where you're living, Joe?
Yes, it's some 20 kilometers away from me.
Hence you're fluent Italian, right?
Yeah, thank you, yes.
Oscar Eriksson. I think Oscar would like to remove this card and maybe, no, just going for the straight peel. So no mistakes there from the Swedes so far, and of course not to be expected. He wanted to get some separation between his rock, both yellow rocks, to try and avoid a double. And to avoid a double with Edin, your rocks need to be a long way apart usually. And here we see Soren Gran on the left.
And Simone, actually the player number 5, but I think he's more the Italian coach.
Retornaz.
Is it okay already with this rock to split
well, he has to make a move now. He's down to the third last rock. So unfortunately for Retornaz, he got no separation on that, and this will be fairly easy pickings for Edin. He wanted to get a lot more separation on that, and to avoid a double with Edin, you're going to be so far apart. 12 feet would be good. So this should be a fairly routine double for Nicholas Edin. Just off the nose.
Yep.
And yeah, as expected. Probably disappointed he didn't keep his shooter in play. So no place to hide. Just try a new piece of ice.
And Amos play now his first rock at the second end. He was his best result was at the European Championship 2014. He was fourth, and was a little bit unlucky. After the round robin, his team was second, but then he lost 2 games, and so he got the fourth place after all that.
I believe that was here in Champery too, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I can't tell you.
Okay. Well, there's no damage done here, but you certainly want to have better draw weight than that. Now Edin will play a draw.
De har dragit några corners där så att
borde sätta sig när den kommer ner mot bot, men före det borde den gå okej.
Yes, easy draw for Niklas here.
His last rock here in the second end. Just trying to pick another piece of ice. And then Mozaner will try and blank it.
Rasmus, långt ner.
Där nästan.
Långt ner.
That's not short either, but it's enough to hang around the back of the rings. And Mozaner will try and blank this hit and roll out. So we'll be on again tomorrow, just so you can write it in your calendars. Set your alarms. You have to get up in the middle of the night or early morning to watch our games. At 12 o'clock, we've got Schwaller versus Brewster. And then at 9:30, the first quarterfinal games tomorrow night. We'll be showing that. And then semifinal, final, of course, on Sunday. I'll remind you throughout the game as we see Mozaner accomplishing the task there. blanking the end and keeping the hammer going into the third end. So after 2 ends of play, Edin still with the lead, 2-0 here in Champery.
Bra.
Håll in. Ja, kör ni. Linjen är bra. Bra linje. Gå ut i frosten nu. Kom igen. Kommer snart in i lite lättare.
So the third end here at Champery, at the Champery Masters. Some small discussions.
Okay.
This Italian team will play at the European Championships in St. Gallen. It's from 17 to 25 of November. And also we'll play the qualifier, the Olympic qualifier in Pilsen, Czech Republic, from 5 to 10 of December. So they have a strong program the next 2 months.
There's many teams here that will represent their country at the European Championships, whether it's A group or B group. We can probably go through the sheet there. The Czechs, the Danes, the Dutch, the Finns, all representing their countries at the Europeans, and 7 of the teams playing here will also be 7 of the teams representing their country at the qualifiers, the Olympic qualifiers you mentioned. It's on the 5th to the 10th of December. There's 8 teams will be playing for the 2 Olympic spots. And we have Czech Republic here with Snittel, Denmark here playing with Sterne, Finland with Kosta, Germany with Baumann, Italy with Retornaz, Netherlands with Van Dorp, who we saw yesterday, and the Russian national team. Those will be 7 teams playing here this weekend that'll be representing their country at those playdowns in Pilsen in December. The only team missing there will be China, who should be one of the favorites, I would think. They're doing really well right now. Slip there.
Yeah, first rock from him was too short. Now we hope he will come into the house.
Hard!
Looking pretty good.
Hard! Go! Hard! On! Okay. Take it back. Dan. Känns som den. Tar du tunt så kan vi få kvar den, men det gör inte så mycket om du river den.
I don't see Verano missing too many of those. He likes to hit.
Potrei anche arrisciarla dopo un po' più fissi.
This is not really a team, Edin, that you'd like to give the lead to.
We give him the lead too early, huh?
Yeah, very good at defending it.
Hard. Hard.
Playing a takeout here. Surprising a little bit.
Yeah, they missed Italian missed the first corner guard, and so it's getting all the time much more complicated against Edin to can do something in the end.
Yep.
That's just a fantastic hitting team too. This team Edin, they don't miss a lot. It seems like the more complicated it is, the more they like it. So Retornaz indicating he'd like to maybe draw down in front of that red one.
And Andrea Pilser try to do this rock as good as possible.
4-2. Buonanotte live.
Linea buona.
4-2.
Sicura dente, eh? Sicura dente. Okay.
I think he would have preferred that a little closer to the back. Just left that a little high. Seems to me like Edin's in a bit of a hurry in this game. I think he wants to get to that cheese raclette that's being put on tonight by
Yes, you're
Porte du
right.
Soleil and Champery, and
Yes, want to be the first at the raclette party.
yeah, just play hits. Get this game over with.
Oh, it's also an important part of the tournament here in Wallis to get some raclette, you know.
Yeah.
So the teams always are happy to have this.
Every Friday night. The president of the organizing committee giving us the thumbs up.
So already number 3 and Skip Joel try to do something out of this short end, but I think it's getting complicated to do something.
Aspetta. Aspetta linea. Aspetta.
Rock also looks very long, late.
Är någon över testa eller? Bra. Inte riktigt fulla till det.
Yeah, nice sweeping here from the Swedish team. Retornaz already played the Olympic Games in Torino for the Italian team, but he was number 5. So long time in the curling business. Unfortunately, curling was not growing so fast in Italy like they expected after these Torino Olympics.
And they got some great television numbers, and they did manage to build a couple of clubs, I believe, in the north part of Italy, but of course much of that country in very much warmer climates. Once you get out of the mountains, it warms up fairly quickly. Cortina being one of the famous curling spots in Italy. What year were those Olympics, Joe?
Okay.
I think curling was part of the Cortina Olympics, were they not?
No, I don't think so. Last time they played curling was around 1924 or something.
28, and Cortina was in the 50s.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
okay.
65, something like that.
But they play in the Olympic Stadium. They've converted that old stadium into brand new. So Moshaner here will be looking for a blank end again. As he hits and stays in the house.
Good rock from Amos here. But like you told before, there is nearly no mistakes by Team Edin with these rocks. So
well, there's about 100 teams between these two on the world ranking.
Jag kom bara att tänka på det. Förra matchpasset så blazade han en
can almost Moshaner here do the blank hand? Take the chance to stay with the last rock?
These guys, these are from Trentino, Italy. Their home club.
Very nice region. Some good wine is growing there.
I'm sure there is. And we get the blank. And that we're in the fourth end, I believe.
Bra.
End of the third.
Kör outen upp till, tycker jag. Då har vi spelat upp alla 4 sidorna.
So after 3 ends of play, the score remains 2-0. And Hosanna will keep the hammer going into the fourth. And we'll see if we get some guards into play here. So important against this team to do that.
Yeah, and you was right. They really play very quick here.
Yeah, I think maybe they want to get to that cheese.
lite lättare i det här spåret också.
Fourth end.
Curla tidigt, men... Bra fart!
Helst inte.
Lång alltså. Bak 4,
Ja.
bak 8.
Bak 8.
Edin's home club is Karlstad, Sweden. It's a bit of a mistake, sliding right to the back of the rings. It's a bit unusual for Sundgren. That's a problem when you're playing a little hurry up. Maybe the
79.
make a mental error. So Christopher Sundgren, little mistake there.
So we was talking, Armin, about this Olympic qualifier and about Olympic Games. Starts 9th of February. What do you think will be the impact of curling from these Olympic Games?
Well, I think obviously the TV numbers keep growing and growing, and the worldwide interest keeps getting larger. We're adding more countries to the curling family. I believe we're up to 60 now at the last World Curling Federation Congress. I think 1 or 2 more countries were added, including Mexico, I believe. And of course, with the Asian countries, Korea, China, the next 2 Olympics, and Asia, the Chinese, the Japanese, and Koreans doing so well.
Bra fart. Topp 8.
Possibility that all 3 Asian countries will be there. I think the numbers will be really high, and the interest will start. It'll grow more even. So we're doing really well, I believe.
Yes, I'm very positive in this. First now South Korea, and after that the Peking Winter Games.
In 22, yeah.
That will be a big impact on curling, especially in these two countries.
Well, tell us a little bit about the growth of the Champions Tour, Joe, and the merger of the Champions Tour and the World Curling Tour. What has that done? I know it's still fairly young. It's only three months or so since the merger was.
2-3 months we did this, yes, and it's a big impact also for curling. We established wheelchair curling tour, mixed double already last year, so 2 new formats. I think we have around 230 tournaments around the world now. Probably a little bit too much, but in the first season we can't plan not too much now.
Well, these are in about 7 different categories. Wheelchair, of course, mentioned, mixed doubles, World Junior Tour, which has a lot of events, and the ladies and men's elite series. So yeah, 230 events. I think there's 17 on this weekend alone. So if you're interested to see what's going on the tour, go to worldcurl.com and see all the scores and all the events that are happening. The world ranking also listed.
Yeah, the world ranking getting all the time more important, like in every other sports. So you said before, Edin number 2, probably with a chance to get number 1 after this weekend. And the Italian team, Retornaz, Mojammer, around 100. So with a good tournament here, they can go further on this world ranking.
And just to quantify 100, there's been 344 teams so far ranked this year. So 100 out of 344, you're in the top 1/3. So that's not as bad as it sounds. That's pretty good. Of course, like anything, to get into the top 10 or top 20 or top 10. And then get into the top is really tough. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time.
Yeah, but we see already sponsors like that. You see, the teams can tell them we are under the 100 best or 20 best in the world, and it's for the teams easier to get some sponsoring contracts. But we go back to the game. The Italians here with the yellow rocks guard this rock on the right side.
They're guarding a rock that's in 3rd position in the rings. Edin just removing it again.
I think it's good to keep Edin busy with guards. But on the end you have also to deliver the last rock.
Well, as long as he's taking out guards, he's not putting rocks in the house. And another clean clearing from Verano. Champery's been a great host for curling over the years. European Championships, a number of them in the last 5-6 years, and the European Sea Championship. Great place for curling. And a really nice arena, and of course the surroundings. Always nice to come up here. It's almost like a weekend off, hey Joe?
Yeah, it's always like a good weekend off here. The sun is shining all the time, very nice hills here, so middle of the Alps.
Yep! Hey! Whoa! Yep! Hey! Tira! Whoa!
Oh, and he gets the double. Great shot. Good separation. That's what he needs. I don't think even Nicholas Edin can double those out.
Yes, nice shot
That's
here.
perfect. Yeah, just see, this is the kind of separation you need in order to make sure that Edin doesn't double them out. But there's still quite a few rocks to come, so they have to keep doing this. No mistakes allowed. Oscar Eriksson wants to hit the rock in the 12 foot on the right hand side and roll over and closer to the one. Doesn't get any roll though. Was on her. Yes, Joe Retornaz is up, so Retornaz will want to hit this on the nose, just get a biter. Doesn't want to roll too far over towards that yellow rock.
That is the question, how far it should roll in, you see. He
He
needs a little bit. Not that he stays outside of the house, but
well, he needs to bite the rings.
Sit! 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 Bomba! Hi! Bomba! Bomba, 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 bomba.
That's a mistake there from Joel, and
this chance is gone.
yeah, say goodbye to your deuce.
Not very well played the last 4 ends till now from the Italian team.
Doesn't take too many errors here to give Edin an advantage. They had something going there, made a great shot to sit 2, but you got to keep those rocks in play. Nicholas isn't going to make any mistakes with this.
Yeah, also not too exciting for the spectators.
That's execution, Joe. That's lots of practice, hours and hours. It's not as easily done as it looks. It's like a defensive football game. Seen lots of those in my time.
Yes, and especially the Italians are famous for that, you see.
But the Italians need to get their guards into play.
Yeah.
And if that's not happening, they're going to have a tough time scoring any points against Edin.
Inåt.
Just last stroke now in this 4th end. Italian team try to split and go for 0 end. We will see if Amos Moshaner can execute this rock here. And then it would be 2-0 still for Team Edin from Sweden. Yes, nicely played. So after 4 and 2-0.
Vill de fortsätta slå så? Ja. Nästan mitthåll. lite tight, Ralle. Bra fart. Kan köra lite grann. 13-8. Ska dra över lite, men det är okej. Det är bra. Fint.
Rätt.
Bra där.
We are back here in Champery. Fifth end, Edin versus Retornaz. 2-0 for the team from Sweden. Still the hammer for the Italian team.
2 più.
Linea buona.
2 più.
So important that the Italian team can here now make some guards and stay in play.
Unlike the Italians, who are still trying to qualify for the Olympics and having to go through that qualifying round in Pilsen beginning of December. Team Edin already qualified directly.
93 borde vara rätt bra.
Both men and women's teams, Sweden qualified.
Bra linje.
Haken nära, nära.
Bra linje.
And a couple of weeks ago, we actually had something quite new on the world ranking. We had the first non-Canadian women's teams taking over the first place, the world ranking, and that's for about a
Vad sa du?
2-week period. We had 2 Swedes leading the men's and the women's ranking on the world tour, which is quite a feat. Quite special for these young teams. And of course, Edin and Hasselberg both having grown up with the Champions Tour.
Yeah, that shows how curling is very popular in Sweden, and they do really good work.
They're not only strong in curling, they're strong in many other sports too. It's quite amazing. So there's 24 teams playing here in 4 groups of 6 after the 5 games round robin. As we see a nice little rock played in there. So there's some rocks in play already. There's 4 rocks in play. 4 groups of 6, and after the round robin play, they'll all be grouped together, and the complete ranking will be done. And top 8 teams will qualify and play in the quarterfinals tomorrow evening. We'll be showing one of those games. 45,000 Swiss francs on the line, 14 to the winner, 9,000 to second place. Gotta pay for a couple of entries for some tournaments. Of course, these teams, a lot of out of pocket to travel all over the world for these tournaments. Pretty heavy on the cost.
Non mi dispiace lì.
Non mi piace?
Interesting situation. What the Italian can do now.
Well, he could freeze to the back there, but I think that yellow one's fairly open and a double chance there. I might play another guard. I think they need to get up some rocks up front. They're not going to beat Edin going head to head in the house. They need to get some longer guards up. Make those takeouts a little tougher for Edin.
Buona 2. 2.
And here we see what looks to be a guard. It's not too long. And it is. And you can see which rock Edin doesn't like. He's going straight for that guard, so it was a good choice.
But they give him already now the chance to go with his red rock with the shooter to the other red, so it's
Well, that'll be a attempt, but it's you know, it's not as easy as a maybe some other shot would have been. It's a little bit tougher. Verano. Okay. There's always a number of ways of making those shots. It's not quite what he wanted, but it worked out. And again, I think he wanted to come across the top of it, but he was looking at coming off the red one in some fashion. He hit it a little bit thinner and got it the other way.
A little bit unlucky for the Italians, but
Yeah, well, now there's one rock in play at the back of the house.
Buono! 2 più! Oh! 2 più! 2! 2 più! Oh! 2 più!
Niente, niente. Ok. Potremmo provarci il ponte, per me. Ma tutta una guardia siamo in problemi. Yep!
Oscar Eriksson skipped his own team a few years back, won the silver medal in Beijing. Lost the final to Thomas Olsrud. The Swiss took the bronze medal that year, Peter de Cruz. A year later, Edin comes in and takes over as skip in that team. They haven't looked back since. Lots of success.
Tela su!
Linea buona.
Oh, linea buona! Molto buona linea!
Line.
Girave! Girave!
Danda.
Danda!
Danda,
Molto
tira
buona
giù.
linea, Tira giù Danda, sghizza! Sghizza tu quel che geran! Sghizza, tu quel che geran! Otso. Yep.
Hi.
Yep.
That's a pretty nice shot. It's getting maximum use out of that corner guard, which is, for all intents and purposes, not even in play.
Lite lurigt, men det kommer sätta sig lite här som det ser ut, men
But it's worth an attempt, and
skapligt
it's a
fart i
great
alla fall
shot.
så länge man är...
It does get a little bit of coverage, and it's not a usual place to play, so you may not know the ice quite as well in that spot.
Ja, tar du garden så borde man lägga kvar någonstans.
Joe, you could never play a takeout way out there, could you?
no, not really. It was not.
It was too far out.
Was too far out for me. Yes, you're right. So that's I knew what I have to play. I was always number one.
In the 4
The
foot
lead.
area.
So guards or in the 4 foot, that was my
Yeah.
specialty.
Anything in the 12 foot.
Yep,
Forget it.
You're right. You have to know in life what you can do and what not.
Working it hard.
Yeah.
Oh, he rubs the guard. Italians finally get a break.
Bra spel.
It was a good idea to go back there.
Yeah, it's a
back
great
there.
shot.
Yeah, it was really good.
Go into a new ice area too. I think Edin, obviously not familiar with the ice in that spot, has to take a little bit of a guess. Almost made the shot, but we're going to see that
Man, good to see the emotions.
the Italians take advantage of this now. Not going to get too many breaks like that. But they created that one quite
Non mi dispiace sinceramente questo,
well.
Felisti.
No, è più sicuro di gente.
Esatto, il limite, non è che messo per Blank era sull'ultima e la sesta. No?
Bisogna vedere se rimane la doppia.
No, se Fenfries non è male, può anche buzzare pieno.
Sì, no, infatti.
Søren Grand, the Italian coach, looks not so happy actually. But he feels very well in Italy. He likes the Italian lifestyle, he told us.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Dolce Vita.
Yes, the only thing he missed, he told me, it's he likes trotting, the horse races, and that's not really
Is that not
popular in
popular
Italy.
in Italy?
No.
Okay, I didn't know that. But they're into chariot races, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that was the Romans. Okay.
So can Joel here?
Can he make up for the mistake he had in the last end? He can sit,
Yep,
hit,
yep.
and roll away a little bit, but he has to stay in the house.
Roll, Danda.
I'd like to roll a bit
Hey!
further.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, it's a good shot. You can see how much respect they're giving Edin. They're just trying to get so far apart as possible.
Yeah, and it's important that he stays in the house. So
It's the only way he's going to make two. So now Edin has seen this line once and he went to school on it, so he should be okay now. And he's going to try that double, and it's makeable. And we can see Edin this year throwing a little bit better than he did last season, struggling with his back issues. He had surgery in the summer and is healed quite well, and he's told me. Everything back to normal. Comes down pretty hard and pretty fast. This rock's just flying down there. Gets one. Oh, hits it too full.
but still getting closer to this
Yeah,
yellow one.
I don't think he played it fast enough. I think he was too slow. The sweepers kept up with that rock. It's amazing. Get sweep? Are you kidding? They can't even
Yes.
keep up with it.
Even a problem to follow the rock, then you should sweep. So.
We would still be at the close, the near hog line by the time that rock hit.
No, if we are honest, we wouldn't not even try
We'd never
to
tried,
sweep.
right? We said, okay, forget it.
So, but now a big chance for the Italian team and Amos to stay in the house.
But you can feel the pressure on this shot. You know this shot has to be made, or you have no chance to get back at this team. Although it's only a 2-0, a 2-point lead. It's just such a difference playing against a team at that high level. Great shot. And the angle's
Nice, yes.
a little trickier now.
Yep.
It's there, but it's a little trickier angle. Really just needs to get a thin piece of it. Problem with it, trying to hit it too thin is you might miss it completely.
So we'll see last rock from Niklas Edin here. At the
It just
fifth
needs to
end.
hit about 1/8 of the rock. Quarter's almost too much. Just to redirect onto the back one. Niklas Edin, last rock here in the 5th end. Must be close. Gets one, gets two, and yes.
What you should say as an opponent in this situation?
Great shooting. That wasn't easy as it looked. And really see here just how little of that rock you can touch.
Very controlled.
Yep.
Nothing to do with luck or something like that.
So Mojaner will now just throw it through again and keep the hammer going into the sixth end, and we're already heading towards the sixth end. So after 5 ends of play, the score remains 2-0 for Edin here at the Champery Masters. We're in round number 7. Draw number 7. Both these teams tied in their group at 2 wins each, 1 loss. And the way Edin's playing, it's hard to believe he lost that first game. Brewster was shooting the lights out yesterday. So we're back into the starting the 6th end now. Really important that Ozonner gets his 2 here. This is the magic end. World Curling Tour coverage of the Champery Masters in conjunction with the WCF and World Curling TV. So not a lot of high scoring though, but it's been an interesting game. You can see the it's really nice to see the tactics and how important every little shot is and every little roll.
Every shot was very important in this game, and some absolute nice shots from Edin.
The Italians are playing quite well, actually.
Yeah, some 2-3 small mistakes from the Italians.
Yeah.
So you see now where the rock is stopping the advertising from the museum, Olympic Museum in Lausanne, not far from here.
Not far from here.
From Champery. Very nice place to go there to watch the exhibitions.
I must admit I have not done that yet.
Nice park around the museum, so for every sportsman or sportswoman, if you have a chance, go there.
Lausanne's a beautiful place to visit anyways. Right down Lake Geneva.
Yeah, and also Champery is not far from Sion, and Sion tries to be one of the candidate cities for the Olympic Games 2026.
I think the Olympics would Switzerland be ready to take the Olympics. I think it would be good for the Olympics. I think Switzerland would do a great job. Environmentally friendly Olympics.
Yes, and this part here, the volley, is would be real good for the Olympics. They tried already, but they lost against Torino. So we will see.
Another great
a long way to go.
Another good shot there. I don't know how much will be involved by then. Oh, going for the guard. And not far away from here is the Matterhorn.
That you never saw.
Which after 21 years in Switzerland, I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, really a beautiful place.
It's like living in southern Ontario and never having seen the Niagara Falls.
No, beautiful place, this valleys, or valley, like the French people say. So the Italians try to make another corner guard.
Same straightforward tactics. They've got a rock and play. Throw a corner guard on it again. And there's lots of other tournaments going on around the tour. This weekend we got the challenge in Gatineau, Quebec. There's a lot of great teams playing out there. And there's some streaming going on from there also. Women are in the Canadians Classic. Medicine Hat Charity Classic. The mixed doubles in Austria going on right now.
Kitzbühel.
European Junior Curling Tour in Oslo. 17 events in total. I'm not going to list them all. Go to worldcurl.com. Check it out. And of course, we'll mention the Sterling Wheelchair International.
Come prima questa, eh?
Yeah, not only the Olympics are in South Korea for the curlers, also the Paralympics, I think some 6-7 weeks later.
Yeah.
Also very good sport from these wheelchair curlers.
Yeah, it's amazing how accurate they are throwing with that stick. Nice guard. Again, Edin's got forced to remove it. It's pretty well similar to the last couple of ends.
Okay. 3 meter. Fullt rimligt, man behöver bara ticka den dit liksom.
Oscar asking how far apart they are because he's looking at, he wants to play the run back, double them out.
Det är lite dyrare att tappa 2 nu än i udda liksom.
Or directly to the
Jag gillar att gå på den.
to the yellow rock.
Ja. Tar du garden och vickar in en till där, då börjar de få svårt att liksom.
I think he maybe saw a piece of it when he was in the hack. You could try it and make sure you're tight enough that you at least take the guard if you.
Det kan ju spela på skjutningen också. Det enda dåliga är att den kan sticka in så.
How important, Armin, is it to give your players some other shots to play?
What do you mean?
Yeah, now they played all the time take out of this guard in the front, like they do now. So there was a chance to play soft peel or something like that on the rock behind.
Yeah, I don't think it's too important to get that back one yet. I think the guard is still the rock that's going to cause problems. I think the danger of just getting a piece of the guard and not hitting anything is probably bigger. I think this is a safe rock to play. I just believe that Oscar got down in the hack and he could see a little bit about that yellow rock, and that's why he asked how far apart are they. If that guard might have been a longer way out, which he couldn't see from where he was standing, then maybe they could have played around it and hit and rolled into the middle, but he would have had to play that too tight. Maybe hit it too hard and then moved those red ones. Those red ones are sitting nicely in the front of the house. I don't think they want to move those around anywhere because that only helps the Italians. So decision time again for the Italians. There is a double possibility. And we're down to, we're in thirds rocks. So time for Retornaz to play another double and sit 2.
His players ask him if it would be not better to play another guard. I don't know, is it not too early to play a double takeout?
Well, I think he's going to make it at some point. We're down to thirds rocks, so
it doesn't change mind.
It doesn't look like a takeout.
Yeah.
It certainly looks like a guard now. So maybe one more. I think that's a better guard.
Väldigt
li-
hög nu. Jag är
little
inne
bit
på att
long.
det är garden eller göra det slaget nu ändå.
Gillar någon av dem.
It did curl a little too much. And it's certainly a lot longer now than the last one, so maybe
Ja,
try and get at it directly.
Ja, jag gillar det.
Now they
det är
already
bra mycket
thinking
mer
about
avstånd
this
nu. Det är
last
5 meter mellan dem nu.
opportunity. They think about, so yes.
And that's just because that guard is
Gillar den här isen, eller?
2 meters shorter than the last one. They now think they can get around it with the right speed and keep their own in the middle.
Yeah, and it's a new task. That's what I asked before. It's a new task now for Eriksson.
Well, I think they really want to get any opportunity that the Italians have to make two. They want to take that away from them.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Japp, japp, japp.
Nice shot.
Very well played.
Perfect.
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 So, well, that takes that deuce away almost from Retornaz. Now he's got to be careful he doesn't give up a steal.
Yeah, very clever played.
Mm-hmm. The one before that, the rock was too tight to the rings. He wouldn't have been able to get the same type of action off his. And you see here, he has to think about the rocks that are sitting in the middle.
What he can do here?
Well, I almost be tempted
Quindi
to.
questo in sul,
Questa lascia ferma.
sul doppia, su quelli due col roll. Siete col normale, no, il gare,
Hit it on the nose and move two of those out.
No, rolla fuori noi.
And maybe sit there.
Questa.
Or try to go behind the guard on the right side.
No, he's going to move those red ones around. There's too many there.
No, I mean after the takeout.
After the takeout, yes. He's got to move at least two of them out of the house here. And maybe keep his own rock up front. That would be ideal. And if he gets this right, he might get all three of them off the one on the right, roll across top, and then the top rock will maybe roll out to the side of the house.
So we will see how fast Joel here this takeout can play or will play. Oh,
Just, we called that, didn't we?
you called that? Yes, yes.
It's well played. Really well played.
Io non mi dispiace così sinceramente.
No, chiaro che qualcosa bisogna fare.
Almeno avere spazio per fare
Lägga sprit. Vad vi kan dit någonstans.
Excellent shot.
Yeah, and some physic stuff to see.
Ja.
How these rocks react.
10 så.
So depending where Edin leaves his now,
Vilka sidan 4 fot liksom är.
yeah, he's going to have a hit and roll anyway. So we're
Was
down,
already thinking that
we're down to skip
Amos
shots.
can play behind than this rock.
Yeah. So Edin's going to try and roll away from that guard. He doesn't want to leave Mojaner an easy hit and roll behind the guard. So he's going to try and hit it and roll away from it.
Ja.
Hårt! Hårt! Hårt!
This is a little
Kör!
snap. So now the question is, can Mojaner get behind the guard and sit shot, covered and shot?
Or should he play directly behind the guard?
That's what I mean, but he's got to be shot rock. He can't be second. There's
Yep.
no point being second. And I don't think he's going to be covered. Going behind the guard and being second is no good to him.
È lo stesso, dopo lo te giù qui.
But they have to take now some more risk, you see. But you're right, he's not covered if he gets.
He has to touch a piece of the white.
Yep.
And then he's open if he is. So,
Qua forse è ancora meglio, deve giocare ranch, lo sbaglia.
so I think
Non mi dispiace, piuttosto che laterale, preferisco essere primo.
Manca che ne vediamo.
Now again this triple takeout. Nicely
Se lo
done.
viene a free start, gana la doppia per 2.
Non è male questa.
Preferisco questo return roll.
So I think he's going to try and draw around that one in top of the 12-foot. I don't think the guard is going to help him too much in this situation. Draw around that.
It's also a good idea.
5-1.
Yeah, I think there's enough curl there. It should get around, maybe back of the ring somewhere. Make sure he's laying shot. He's got to be shot in this situation.
Yes, and you should be far away from this red one, huh?
Well, in order to get buried behind that, he's probably going to be in back of the 8-foot somewhere anyways. So this is...
Again, important rock
Linea buona!
for Amos.
Linea buona!
So up to the sweepers and the skip
Sicura!
now. Call the
Linea!
line.
Tira linea d'anda! Linea! Linea!
It's moving. The weight looks pretty fine.
Linea! Hard! Tira! Continua d'anda, continua! Hard! Go, go, go!
Oh, really nicely done. Now let's try and get separation.
Non serve a niente girarsi ormai in metro.
Would have liked to have been a little further
Okay.
away from that red one.
No, le perché
Yeah, it's
continua,
too-
se no.
It's a little bit
Too
easy.
near.
But
too near.
I mean, you know, Edin still has to make that shot, so he's forcing Edin to make a not that easy of a shot.
Nicely played here, this rock.
Yeah, he would like to have had it another meter further back to get a little more separation on that, but great shot. I'm afraid that Edin is just going to
Execute very well. Last rock in the 6th end.
for Nicholas Edin.
Yes.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah, now the pressure on
Well, he's forcing. He's not happy with that. He would have rather had that stay lined up. Wasn't perfect. So Mojaner has to draw to the 4-foot against 2 and give up the hammer. And of course that's what Edin was playing for. Good endo by the Italians. Important to finish it off here with a point and stay in the game. 6th end, last rock.
Hard!
Playing a hit.
Tira! Batte! Hard!
And he gets it.
Nicely done, and they are on the board now.
Yeah. Good end there from the Italians. It just didn't quite work out for them. And the score is now 2-1 after 6 ends of play. But the hammer, of course, now goes back to Edin and his Swedish team.
Ah, bro.
Quando era il mio scusa? 3-8? Ora giù a 4.
World Curling Tour Champery Masters. We're into the 6th end of this 7th draw.
Linea buona!
Mojaner, Retornaz, Team Retornaz against Team Edin.
No, 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 sul passaggio.
2-1 after 6 ends of play for the Swedes. And Edin has the hammer. Last rock advantage. So Italians will be trying to steal, or maybe force Edin into one. Worst case.
Kom igen, kom igen, kom igen. Ja, riktigt bra sop, boys.
Bra. Åh, mat.
Sì, 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 vai. 2!
2,
Linea buona, 3.
2.
2 più 3!
Linea buona, 3. Bisogna tirarla giù.
Spizz. Dai, bomba qui. Vai,
Tira giù ancora.
And 2 rocks
Vai, quel che è.
in play for the Italians.
Vai, go.
So the Italians haven't played that bad. They played quite well. A couple of little mistakes that's cost them so far. It's a very close game, but I don't think you can ever say that Edin has ever given up control of this game. As you can tell, they've controlled every situation pretty well. Made every shot that they've had to.
Yes, he's a champion. He never give up the control. What you said.
12-8. 12.
And now a nice shot into the house behind the guards, but give the Italians a chance to go also around their own guards.
3, 4 e 10. 3, no, 7. Buonanotte, line!
Linea buona. Deve essere T-line questa.
4-2!
Sicura
First,
T-line. Linea
Yellow
molto
Rock has to
buona.
go around
Linea
these
perfetta,
two yellow
T-line.
guards, like we see now.
Molto buona, T-line. Sicura T-line. Hard. Go. Tira giù, go.
This is interesting. This is probably as many rocks as we've seen in play all game, but not for long, of course. Edin already up there with the broom, and the big hitman Verano coming out to clear up some of the granite.
Yeah, but now chance for the Italians to do some more guards. There is always a chance if the Swedes pull them away that something happens in the house. So Andrea Pilser
Oh, se la freeze, io.
Aspetta, linea.
Freeze!
is his
4-1.
second shot
4-1!
in this.
3-4-1!
Oh, linea.
I think he wants a short guard, though.
3-4-1!
Yes, very short.
Get good separation between those two guards. That's got to curl a bit. That's going to start stopping. All right, it's coming right down to the red. I don't think he wanted to be in the house.
Not really, no.
I think you'll see Edin. He's taking a look at him.
But there is still the
1,5 där borde jag döma.
guard in front.
Okej.
No, I didn't see how much separation is on the red one.
Ja.
Get a
Allt
bit
går
of
över
a
curlen.
drag
2,5,
effect.
okej.
That means if he hits this yellow rock on the, depending which way you look at it, left or right side, he might pick up the back one also. Coming across the top of it. And he does pick up the back one, yeah. Those two rocks are so close together, they don't quite, they're not 90 degrees like a billiard ball. That's called a drag effect, so it takes the back one too. Maybe if we can see it here.
We'll see it here now, yes.
Yeah,
looking for the red.
The red one will also move to the right a little bit and takes that. Here, we'll see it better here. You can see that red one did move to the right a bit to take that back one. So that was the problem with being that close to that rock. And now all of a sudden there's only 2 rocks in play. I just think Nicholas wants to be the first one in the line for the cheese raclette.
Yeah, but still they have to fight against this young Italian team.
Yeah, hasn't been easy.
And it looks that the Italians are prepared for the qualifier in Pilsen, for the Olympic qualifier in Pilsen, and for the European Championship in St. Gallen.
Yeah, got 2 wins here already, and they're fortunate enough to win their last game. Might have enough points to qualify. Might see them again in the quarterfinals.
Känns som en tjock tredjedel, tjock fjärdedel, tunn tredjedel menar jag, sitter där. Men nej, skit i det, träffar den här bara så.
So Edin wants to split, clear that short yellow rock with Oscar Eriksson here. Has to be careful he doesn't hit it too thinly and drive it back on that corner, that rock on the side of the house. And he does hit it, but fortunate for Edin. It just removes it from play. If he hits that a little bit wrong, it rolls back into the house.
But why they didn't remove the first guard?
Well, the first guard's not a danger because it's so far away. You can get around that from the in-turn and the out-turn. It's the tighter guards that'll be causing the problem. Of course, the first opportunity he has, he will remove that guard. But
so it is important now that Joel play
another
behind this front guard.
That's right. Get closer, a little closer to the house, not in the house.
Aspetta allora. Aspetta Nanda. Pilz. No dentro. Tira giù lo stesso, tira giù.
Looks pretty good.
Tira giù.
I don't know if he wanted to be in, but he is.
Elva.
Again, a chance to remove that.
Så länge vi kommer bort från linan liksom. Ja.
Thing is, removing this now, he's going to have another red one in the house, possibly.
Yes, he looks really for 2 in this end.
If he makes 2 here, it's game over. I've been pretty impressed with this Italian team. Started a little shaky, but they got it together. And a solid performance in the last 3-4 ends. Some pretty good shots.
Non mi dispiace.
2 terzi.
Sì. Quello stiamo giocando.
8 più. Così, ah?
Sì.
Now I want to see what big Amos can do.
2 terzi, roll interno con double.
Is there a double and a roll here?
Yes, it's an opportunity.
Wouldn't that be a great shot? Double those out and roll behind the guard. Say happiness is a hit and roll.
Whoa! Whoa! Watch out! Sit! Whoa! Whoa! Sit!
He must be close. Gets 1, gets 2, gets the roll. I wonder if he rolled too far. A great shot.
That's a great shot, huh?
Well, they say
Femtedel nästan.
when the moon hits your eye like a big
Pizza pie, that's
amore.
amore.
We had to get that in there.
Yeah, we had to do that. I mean, we said if we have a nice,
Makes a great shot.
nice shot, we do that. So
A shout out
Risken här
to
med
all
att
our
ticka in
Italian
kan ju bli
friends.
ganska... Ja, då är den där öppen i alla fall.
Känns som en tunn fjärdedel.
I think we should go on the road, Joe. Forget about curling.
to put the head on the street and
Yeah, exactly. Might make more. Make a little more
Sarge,
when
bro.
we collect with the hat.
but was really a good shot.
Look at that.
Yeah,
That
it looks good.
That was perfect. That was awesome.
And Edin has now to deliver. Huh?
Samma fart,
But
jag
like
behöver
we
inte hålla
said,
upp något mer.
that guard is so long.
Nej, samma
Should
fart,
be
jag behöver
fairly
inte hålla
easy
upp
to
något
get
mer.
Nej, jag
to the inside of it. Drive it back. Not even touch his red.
Flisa mindre bara.
But he's got to make a good shot. Probably one of the tougher shots he's had throughout the game.
Sarg!
Ja, upp, upp,
Ja! Dryg sarg!
Oh, that might have picked something. Oh, gets past it. Oh, he gets it the other way.
Yeah, nice.
Just it looked like it picked something up there, but it just made a little bit of a jump, but he got it. And now,
Una guardia, non dico inesistente, però...
and you know, you just watch that rock, you know that hiding behind that long guard is not doing you any good. You could double him out, maybe.
No, era decidersi fare double, andare a rubare l'extra hand.
Double him out, yeah.
Beh, nel double mi va bene anche il double, però il fin sono allenata.
Che ti piace?
Ok.
No, il dish. No, il dish, giocare la doppia.
En era l'ultima a rubarsi mai. Un punto con chi al limite inizia e lo gira slash, credo. Uno lo
Qua
fa
non
sicuro.
sì. Però se gioca slash, cioè, la ciappa male, che jam, che...
Sì, non è male il 5-2. Ma così sì.
No, la che bene, la doppia, cioè. Però...
No, se Juan...
So he's
Juan
thinking here,
Kima.
he makes the double. Edin will
Juan
just blank the
Kima.
end and he might be able to steal one in the
Cioè
eighth.
qua, secondo me, puoi anche arrivare qua, però...
lì non è
E
malazzo.
qua non va in più,
No.
ormai con quella che sto lì.
If he
No,
doesn't
qua-
make this draw,
Sì.
Then it shake hand.
that's
No,
well,
lì
No,
no.
lì no.
two or three here for Edin and it's
Chi,
over.
pari chi.
It's pretty well
Adesso scelto
finished.
voi. Però pari chi. La camisa questa o no?
Sì.
Secondo me o chi o double.
Io non è
Yes,
mai
good
nessuno
decision
che ha
from Amos. Double or
Così non
the
daria.
draw there.
provato. Allora,
I like this
Alla
decision.
guardia
lì.
chi. Così
I'm not so sure.
I mean, he has nothing to
There's-
lose.
I don't know if there's any place he can put it that Edin can't get at it.
Sì, no, che non ha tanto una luce comunque per fare il double. Anche... No, scherzo. Guarda. No.
But first he has to make this draw.
That guard is really long. You can get that around that with a hack weight. You can pretty well take out any rock you put anywhere behind it.
Last rock from Amos Mashander.
Linea buona!
The seventh end.
Linea perfetta.
5, linea molto buona!
Perfetta linea. Vai. Tira Danda, spazza. Vai.
Vai.
Bomba.
Tira
Molto
piena sul
buona
piano!
Piena bianca, sul piena
Vai!
bianca.
Piena!
Tira dentro.
Oh, that's coming up short.
Line was okay, but
Yeah.
much too short.
Just come up short. So Edin's sitting one for sure. And he's just going to draw for two. And that'll give him a 4-1 lead.
85.
Ja. Det är inte riktigt samma glid som de här lättaste som har...
Nicholas Edin, last rock here in the 7th. Chance to make 2
86.
and pretty well put this game out of reach for the Italians. Making up 3 against Team Edin is pretty tough.
Nicely done here from Niklas.
Good control, draw weight. So 2 for sure. I think it was only 2.
So it's 4-1 for the Swedish team. We go into the last end.
So that's a good example here of the new rule that's going to come in for next season's play. The 5-rock guard rule. Right now we have a 4-rock guard rule. That means you can't take out the guards until your 3rd rock in play. And with the 5-rock rule, I think offense might be a little more in place, certainly in a game like this, where both teams are playing so accurately. It might just be a little more of an advantage for a Mozaner situation or a Retornaz situation here. The Italians have played quite well, just have never gotten enough rocks in play. And the mistakes early on have cost them the game, basically. So it'll be interesting to see how the game is next season with the 5-rock rule. Another extra guard that you can't take out. A soft peel attempt here from Christopher Lundgren.
So explain to viewers, Armin, what was that now with the 3-guard rule?
Yeah, you can explain, Joe.
Oh, it's better if you can do that.
Obviously that rock is not allowed to be removed from plays. That's why when it hit the boards, they brought it back again, replaced it to approximately where it was, and the red rock gets removed. That was a soft peel attempt, so all Christopher Lundgren wanted to do was actually touch it and move it to the side as far as possible.
So now the chance for the Italians to do another guard in front of this already placed guard. Nicely done. Swedish will try again to remove that a little bit.
Well, now we've got Rasmus Rano, and he'll be trying to get some double out of here somewhere, and splits that off.
And we should not forget the Italians have to make 3 points out of this end, so they can't make not too long discards.
It's a really tough make 3, especially against a team like Edin. You really require about 2 or 3 mistakes from
at least
Edin.
2, yes.
At least 2, and
and we didn't saw not many mistakes in this game.
no, we didn't.
5-1, 5-2. 5-1, 5-2.
Okay.
But this is a nice rock.
Edin just going for the guard.
Whoa.
Raw means good.
Again, a guard. Italians have some rocks left.
Yeah, I think they might borrow some rocks from the other sheet. Might help them.
Buono due. No, buono due, due meno.
Linea buona.
Brewster's got a 6-3 lead over Mancini on that next sheet. Maybe he'd be willing to give up a couple of
Tira
rocks.
giù Ben.
Tira,
Tira
tira
giù,
giù.
tira giù.
Tira giù,
Ben.
Tira giù, tira giù,
Ok.
tira giù.
Guarda noi. Due lisciare.
Yeah, just straightforward stuff now. Run the opponent. It's all about math now. Run the opponent out of rocks.
Yep.
Make sure you don't leave your own rocks around as a guard.
Yeah, and if Edin plays like that, we will see here one of the possible winners of this tournament.
Well, he's defending his title, and he's the #1 ranked team in the tournament, so you would expect that he's going to be a factor.
Linea buona, due più. Aspetta, la gara a girare. Oh. Lo sento. Oh, dentro. Danda. Oh, clean.
So 1 rock
Ben.
in the house from the Italians and 3 still to play.
Ready.
Again, a guard.
Finte.
But the last one, then they have to, oh, okay, they already think about to play into the house.
Secondo me.
Ok. Va bene.
You have to do something. You anyway need
5-2.
two shots from the Swedish. They are not good.
Edin's got 2 more shots, so somehow the math is not in the favor of the Italians at the moment. Swedish #1 through 3 have done their job to perfection.
Tornare 5-2. Guarda Joe, 5-2. Okay.
Nicely played from Joel Retornaz, his last rock in this game.
I've been impressed with this Italian team. They played very solid. Just a couple little mistakes they got to clean up.
Yeah, and they was unlucky that they get 2 already in the first end.
Yeah, that unfortunate rub on the front one, maybe wanting too much. Instead of going for the hit on the open rock, they tried to hit and roll. Just touched the guard and allowed Edin to make a fairly straightforward, simple 2. And
Yeah, made him to play his tactics all over the game.
and then after a 2-point lead, of course, they just controlled it throughout.
Sì, appunto. Almeno giocare una velocità di ponte, eh?
Yeah, I have a feeling this will be Morzaner's last rock in this end.
And in this game, yes.
Ja, jag skulle gissa på att den är typ 6-8. Kanske lite hårdare än 7-0.
And the teams will then happily head to their raclette, their potatoes and cheese, famous in this region.
Sì. Rolla un po' esterno.
Nicely played. Stay in the house, so we will see what happens.
Edin, all he needs to do is remove one of these rocks, and the game will be over. Last rock here, possibly, for Nicholas Edin in this game. And of course, never in doubt, the gloves come off. And with a 4-1 victory, Edin runs the Italians out of rocks. That puts Edin at 3-1 in his group. Retornaz goes to 2-2 in their group. They still have a fighting chance to get into the qualifiers, into the quarterfinals. And teams will now do their draw shots for the hammer for the next end. We're finished with this game. We will be back on again at 12 o'clock tomorrow with Schwaller from Switzerland against Tom Brewster from Scotland. We hope you enjoyed this coverage, and we will welcome you back for tomorrow's games. Joe, thank you very much for joining me. It was a pleasure, as always. Don't give up your day job. I wouldn't start singing anyway. Thanks for everybody. Have a good evening or a good day wherever you are, and we will be back tomorrow here at the Champery Masters. World Curling Tour continues throughout the weekend, and wish you a good day.